Hello and welcome to this tutorial series on how to program in C++. In this series we're going to cover some basic key concepts of what C++ is, how it works, and of course how to program it. Now, as you can see here, a small bit of code just runs a small program. Now, first things first, before we even start doing any code whatsoever, you can actually have something to code in. Now, what you can see at the moment is something called an IDE, or an Integrated Development Environment. It's basically long for a text editor with a few extra features. Nothing you have to really worry too much about, but you will need to get one. Now, the best one to probably use, at least if when you're first timer at this, is Microsoft Visual Studio. Now, unless you fancy paying about $1,000 for a commercial license, which you don't need to learn it, the best option is to go for something called Microsoft Visual Studio Community 2015. Now, this is a recently released program which essentially is Microsoft Visual Studio, the Enterprise Edition and similar editions, included into one. It just lacks a few key components. Unlike previous versions like Express, which were very much tied down to having in them, as far as I'm aware from what I've read, this one includes pretty much everything you're going to need to program with for pretty much any application. It only lacks a few paid for features you just don't need. So as far as I'm aware, just search it in Google. You should get an option. I believe it's the second one. I haven't downloaded this myself because I already have a copy of Visual Studio. But as far as I'm aware, this should work fine. There should be no problems with it. It's also one I'm not going to show you how to install it, but I'll give you an idea. Right, first things first, this is the one you want. Visual Studio Community. As far as I'm aware, completely free, and it should program completely fine. Right, so all you have to do is click on that. Now I'll download the executable. As you can see, I've clicked it twice. What this will do is click on that. It will come up and it will show you how to install the program. I'm not going to show you how to do this because I already have it installed on my computer. I don't have this version, so my installation procedure could be slightly different to yours. But again, it's only installing software. It's not too challenging. Just click through the options. The only one thing you want to make sure of is there will be an option to select what tools you want to install. Have a look where it says programming languages. Make sure you install Visual C++. I'm pretty sure you'll need that for it to actually program in C++ using the Visual Studio. So make sure you please install that, or you will just come up in the comment section saying, it didn't work, I can't program in C++. Well, that will be because you probably haven't installed that package. So it will come up with a list of tools you want to install. Well, before that, it'll come up with if you want Express or custom installation. You always want custom installation with software. Just look what you're installing. There'll be a section that says programming languages. Click on that. Tick that box and continue on. About half an hour later, you should have Visual Studio installed, and it will look something like this. Of course, it won't actually look like this because it's a program, but what you will see when you first start it up is a small little white box that will come in the center of your screen. It will have Microsoft Visual Studio on it. It will ask you to sign in with Microsoft. You can sign in if you want. I personally don't, but it's up to you. Just click Not Now if you're not interested. It's up to you. When it comes to choose your development settings, I always choose General. I don't normally go for any specific one because I do program in a couple of languages, and it's just easier to keep it in General rather than keep switching it around all the time. What colour scheme, you'll get 3 options. Just try them. You can change them later on. If you get any problems about changing them later on, just drop a comment and I'll show you how to do it. It's really simple. Eventually just click all through that and you should get this. Well, this won't come out as I say because it's a program, but what will come up, if I close it down and relaunch it, so I can spell, there we go, you'll get something like this come up. And this will be your gateway to programming, at least for now. Okay, so first things first, you're going to want to know how to use the environment. It's very simple. New project, open project, basically all you ever need to know at this stage. So we have top here, File, New, Project. So just start a small project so you can just see what it's like to actually start a project, because realistically if you haven't got a project made, you can't do anything. So we'll get to that first. You have a list of languages on the left hand side. Mine's already got Visual Studio C++ selected. You'll probably have C# selected. You want to click on Visual C++. You will Windows 32 console application. just type something like first program, anything like that, and click OK. A dialog box will come up. You can click next through that. Don't want precompiled headers, and we don't want security development lifestyle checks. Bit of a tongue twister. You want an empty project. So weird. Click finish, and there you go. One project being made. It's going to be outrageously slow, but there we go. Right. Okay. The environment works pretty much as you'd expect. This is your text editor. There's nothing here yet because we haven't actually opened a file yet. We've got a toolbox at the top corner there. We probably won't ever use that. Server Explorer, again, probably won't ever use that. Not unless you get very much advanced into a bit more, should we say, more networky / GUI elements. At the moment, we'll just stick with pure programming. Now, on the right here, we've got something called references. You're not going to want to know what that is right now. It's not important because we're not importing any references right now. Just looking through the actual files. Got a section for header files. Header files are a type of file used by C++ for definitions. Again, not important right now. Got resource files. Again, graphics, that sort of thing. Source files are where our actual CPP files or C++ code files will be held. Again, probably the most important bit is source files at the moment. If you want to create something, right click on, for instance, source files, click add, new item, CPP file, we don't want header file. I always go for main because that's generally what the function is. I don't know why they like it as being source file, but whatever. And there you go, you've got your nice main file. Now, in this lesson at the moment, I'm just going to show you how to install the environment. If you catch us on the next tutorial, I'll go a bit more in depth on the key concepts of C++. I know this is exceptionally boring to start with, but the most important thing to learn when you are programming is the basics. If you can get the basics down, the rest of it will be very, very simple. A lot of people say C++ is one of the harder languages to learn. In my experience, it's not that bad if you've got the right resources. Essentially, if you've got a brain, you've got a keyboard, you've got a computer, you can probably program C++. All I'd say is go through the key concepts first, which I'll do in the next video. You have a good understanding of what's actually happening behind the scenes, and you should be well underway to starting programming in no time at all. So I'll catch you in the next video.